This is a decision tool designed to help individuals who are unsure in what type of car is best for them to narrow down their decision making into a particular car class, and then they can do some research to identify which particular car is right for them. After the user provides it with the necessary information, this tool will identify a car class with several examples of cars for them to start their research. We understand that most individuals, when shopping for cars, like to shop for several cars in a particular car class and do not feel that we are in the position to create a tool that would ever be useful in replacing the self-testing of cars by just going and seeing the cars and test driving them for themselves. However, for an individual who does not know where to start or what car class is best for them, this tool is useful in pointing them in the right direction. The user, when first opening the screen, will see the main user form where it's necessary for them to provide all their inputs, seen here with the Ferrari logo in the middle. When first opening the screen, if prompted, they will need to enable macros for this tool to work effectively. Once they have done that, they can get to work on the user form in finding their ideal car. So, for example, let's assume that we are a college student who is not sure as to what type of car that they would like to buy. They're going to start here by entering in a price range, which is going to be critical for a college student because affordability is key. So let's say that they don't want a car too cheap or a used car, but they're going to say $10,000 as a minimum price, and then a maximum price of $30,000 because they're just not willing to pay any more than that. After that, they see immediately to the right of that there's a level of importance where the user can assign a weight. The user must assign a weight to each level of importance, and it ranges from 1 to 10. They have to do this for all 14 of the inputs that are here, but they can assign any weight or to as many of the same weight as they would like to as many of the inputs. So, for example, because price is so important and affordability is so important to a college student, we're going to select a weight of 10, the most important weight that you can assign to the price range. But if there's another one where they think is equally important to price as they're continuing to fill out the model, they can also assign it to another weight of 10. So next, we should go and think that it'll be practical for a college student to have 4 or 5 seats in their car. They don't want a car too big or a car too small. And that's reasonably important, not as important as price, so let's assign it a weight of 6. For seat warmers and leather seats, we're going to say that those would be nice, but they're not critical. So we're going to say yes to both if it works, but we're going to assign those of weights of 2 because they're just not very important. Miles per gallon is more important because we feel that you don't want to have to pay for gas constantly over and over again. So you want a car that is efficient in how it uses its gas. So we'll say that we want a minimum of 25 miles per gallon, and we'll assign that as a weight of 7. 7. We don't really. I think a college student is probably pretty indifferent to the performance of their car, as in their acceleration from 0 to 60. So we're going to say that the minimum and maximum 0 to 60 are the complete range, 0.0 to 12.8. And because it's that unimportant, we're just going to assign it the weight of 1. It's really just not important. We want a car with some horsepower, but not too much horsepower. We don't want it to be too showy. So let's put the range in from like 300 to 600. And we'll assign that a weight of 5. It's of moderate importance. Safety is important. We want to include 4-wheel drive, and we're going to assign that a weight of 8. Let's assume that we know how to drive an automatic car, but don't know how to drive a shift stick. So we're going to assign this a weight of 8 because presuming that, and then this a weight of 10 because we absolutely do not want a car with manual transmission or shift stick. For legroom's important, and in this scale you can enter in from 1 to 5, depending on how important legroom is for you. So we want some legroom, but if it's not a huge factor for us, so we're going to put in a minimum legroom of 2 and assign that a level of importance of 3. For trunk space, we feel that we don't want it too small. We need to be able to hold some stuff, but we don't want to hold something too big. We don't want a trunk too big, such as a truck, which is what the selection of 5 would give you, as that holds, that has a whole bed that you can store cargo on. So we're going to select 2, 3, and 4. Interestingly to note, for both number of seats, trunk space, and the greenhouse gas emission inputs, you can check as little or as many of the options as you'd like. So trunk space is somewhat important, and we'll assign that a weight of 5. Our parents probably want us to drive safe cars, so we'll give it a minimum safety rating of 3, and we'll make that a weight of 7. The safety rating input is based on the United States Department of Transportation. We can say that we're a college student who do not necessarily have those like sustainable initiatives or care too much about what we're outputting to the environment. But so we're going to say that it could be any, but we're indifferent if it does. So we can say that any of these ranges would be acceptable, and that's unimportant also. So we'll assign that a range of 1. This scale is based on the EPA greenhouse gas emission rating put out by the government. So after the user form is complete, we can click to view our top 10 matches, our top 3 car matches, and we see when we first come up, our optimal car choice is a compact SUV, and this form gives you just 2 examples of where to start. A Chevrolet Equinox and a Kia Sportage are just 2 potential options for what you for what this model tells you is your optimal car class that you should start to look in of a compact SUV. You can click to see your second choice, which is a midsize SUV, which tells you that the Honda Pilot and the Ford Explorer are the second best car class as a midsize SUV to meet your match. And then the third choice would be a full-size car, such as the Toyota Camry or Chevrolet Impala. The data for this tool is based on an average car in a particular class, based on what is demonstrative of the most cars that fall into a particular category. For example, in the full-size car class in our data, we chose the Chevrolet Impala because it was found to be the car that was found to be the most middle of the ground of the various factors taken into account in our model. So after you see your top 3 car choices, you can click to see the graphs, which will give you a much more detailed analysis of what's of how the model has taken into account why it gave you these 3 car choices. So when you look at the graphs, there are 3 graphs. There are 3 graphs here. The first graph on the top left, well, all 3 graphs use a measure of car points. And car points is a metric that this tool uses to determine which cars are the best matches for the users. Car points are entirely based off the weights that are inputted by the user. They can range from a 0 if cars completely don't match any of the weights to 1,400 if the user put a weight of 10 for every one of the 14 inputs for a particular car. And they're entirely dependent on the inputs and the weights put in by the user. The average car weight, car points for a particular car generally range between maybe 500 to 700, depending on a user's inputs. In this case, our best option, a compact SUV, got somewhere a little bit above 540 car points. So the first graph on the top left shows you the car classification points for all the different types of car choices. This ranges from a microcar, which is a smart car, and a supercar, which is something like a Bugatti Veyron, which clearly do not meet the classifications at all, but also show other cars aside from your top 3 choices, which are also just outlined here in just a more close-up graph. Show other cars, such as like a full-size pickup truck or a subcompact car that also could be cars that the user could be looking into. But the car classification points do not necessarily take into account the price range, which is, we would presume, the hardest constraint for a college student or for most students in general. And so this chart here on the bottom right show all of the cars that are that fall into the specified car range and their associated car points. So even though midsize SUV is one of the top car choices with compact SUV, you can see something like midsize pickup truck, or a full-size pickup truck, which fall into a car range, fall into the appropriate car ranges as well. And then, of course, the top 3 car choices will always be cars that come from this chart of the specified car range.